to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming, especially on this very rainy day. We appreciate you getting out. Okay, we'll have a motion to open the public hearing to consider adoption of a local law amending the town code.
A motion.
Okay, Christie?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ray. Are there any comments about the town code?
What's it all about?
It's the town code policy we have to have because since we're taking care of our own town code officer.
About what's proposed is certain amendments to the code, basically allowing the code enforcement officer to issue appearance tickets. It prohibits dumping brush and grass, kind of in uncontrolled, private spots. There's a comprehensive process there for unsafe structures and some fire prevention stuff. Not allowing the accumulation of debris in streets that would be flammable. The opening of hydrants without permission, blocking hydrants. Fairly routine stuff that Pat Hodge would be appropriate, Patrick O'Brien would be an appropriate addition to the code. That's all.
Yeah, the village has their own code enforcement, and then we have ours. So.
Did I miss anything?
No, that was perfect. So basically what as Eric alluded to, it's simple stuff that we're kind of mirroring on the village. The town didn't really have the mechanism to enforce. And it's little stuff, and most of these things, we work with people for quite a long period of time before we ever get to that point, and 90% of the people are awesome to deal with. It's that 10%. So right now, something that in the village could be a $50 fine. In the town, it might cost us thousands of dollars because we don't have this in the code. So to pursue those violations is going to involve Eric's time and is going to involve a hearing with the state. So it's kind of a better use of taxpayer funds. It makes no sense to spend thousands of dollars in legal fees to recover a $100 fine because somebody won't clean up a yard or mow the lawn or simple stuff like that. So basically, it's just sections of the village. I think Eric hit them all. The unsafe buildings is the big one because we've got 2 right now and we don't have a mechanism to deal with. The grass, the weeds, things like that. Obviously, in the town, you're going to have larger lawns that aren't going to be an issue. So the coding, the word from the state code, the recommendation is finished lawns. So you get out towards Massena Center where people have normal backyards and where they're not, it's not fields they hay and things like that. It allows us to kind of go after people that leave, properties and aren't taking care of them. We're certainly not nitpicking people over an inch or 2 of grass. But when your weeds and your grass start getting up to a foot or more and we start getting complaints, people are getting upset at us, and I have to continuously keep explaining to people that it's not because we don't want to do anything, it's the mechanism isn't there. So this will fix that problem.
And if they call me first, I get it over to Pat,
Yeah.
and he takes care of it.
Yep.
And I appreciate it.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
Any other items for the public hearing? Okay, could we have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Ray,
A second.
and second by Christie. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, announcements. We want to thank Bob Summerfield for serving on the zoning board. He had to resign for prior commitments, and we want to thank him very much for being a volunteer, and we appreciate his service to the town. The next item is a proclamation. We get this annually. This is a proclamation by the Daughters of the American Revolution. Whereas the privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate the 237th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America with appropriate ceremonies and activities. And Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. So now therefore, by virtue of the authority vested in me as town supervisor, I do hereby proclaim the week September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. And and we ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals that the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained. And therefore I set my hand and cause the seal of the town and the city to be fixed this 21st day of August of the year 2024. So again, put that in your calendars. Remember what September 17th through the 23rd is all about, okay? Okay, going down to the regular agenda, please. We haven't approved the minutes of the July 17th board meeting.
I'll make a motion, I'll approve the minutes.
Adrian, thank you.
I'll
Second?
that.
Ray, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, now, scheduling a public hearing for 4:30 on Wednesday, September 18th for the following reason. To consider overriding the 2% tax cap for the town of Massena 2025 budget if needed.
I'll make the motion.
Adrian,
Second.
second by Christie, all in favor?
Aye.
And again, I was on a town supervisor's long meeting yesterday about the budget and the planning, and what's affecting New York State, and the prices have been going up, so they are highly recommending that all towns do the 2% override, whether it happens or not. They said we need to have that done.
So you want me to sign the draft local law for the
Yes,
consideration?
yes, please, and insert. Okay, scheduling a public hearing for Wednesday, September 18th, immediately following the prior public hearing for the following reason. To consider adoption of a local law enacting comprehensive regulations regarding cryptocurrency mining operations in the town of Massena. Finally got the last draft. You want to say anything about that?
Sue, I think, yeah, I'll get the final, what I think is the last draft out to the board at some point towards the weekend or early next week.
Okay.
But what I'd ask is that the resolution be amended just slightly to also include or adopting an extension of the moratorium, just so we have options in the event there's something unexpected.
Extending moratorium?
Yeah, I'll get you some language, so we,
You have to put the word in "or" in there, right?
yeah, or
Adopting.
or adopting a resolution or a local law extending the moratorium. I don't think that'll be necessary, but I don't want us to be caught short either.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Yeah, make sure you get us the proper wording here, and make sure that you do that right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Oh.
I'll make the motion.
okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, so Adrian and Ray, and all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Establishing the 2025 budget workshop schedule for the town of Massena as follows. So Wednesday, September 18th at 2:30 PM, we'll have our workshops like we've had past years. 2:30, we're gonna have highway, airport, library, museum, chamber of commerce, and dog control. And then after that, at 3:30, we're going to have meetings with assessor, town court, tax office, town clerk, senior citizens, Meals on Wheels. And they'll all be held right here in this room. And, any motions for that? Yes? Yep, okay, motions please.
I'll make a motion.
Adrian,
I'll second.
Christie, all in favor?
Aye.
And I hope you've been looking at all the materials that Brenda's been providing us, so we can see what everybody's asking for, so we know what we need to discuss. And if at any time, maybe council members want to come in and see me individually, we'll take a look at what we have in our book and compare it to past years as well. Okay? Just let me know ahead of time in between meetings so I can plan time for you, all right? Next, authorizing the following person to attend local government conference on October 15th at a cost of $35 per person. Sue Beller, Pat Bacto, Janine Miller, Brittany Rushlow, Brenda Musa, Patrick O'Brien, Christy Baker, Ray Langto, and Roger Bennett, and authorizing payment of the invoice of $315.
I'll make the motion.
Adrian, second please.
I'll second.
Ray, this time, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Authorizing the town to dispose of surplus highway and airport equipment using Auctions International, and authorizing the town supervisor and/or the highway and airport superintendent to execute any agreements as necessary.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Ray,
I'll
second. Adrian, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Accepting the Genetech Advantage Renewal Quote 2024 from NCC in the amount of $559 and authorizing payment for same.
I'll make the motion that we
Okay.
accept it.
And Christie, a second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Accepting of any potential future grant offers by the FAA for the sand storage building project and funding per the town's submitted final and signed grant applications.
I'll make that motion.
Ray, and second.
I'll second it.
Adrian, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Appointing Timothy Bolio to the town zoning board effective August 21st, 2024 to fill the position left vacant by the resignation of Bob Summerfield, whose said term is to expire December 31st, 2026.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Christie?
I'll second it.
Adrian, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Julie, I want to make sure you call him tomorrow to come in and sign his oath, both sets, okay? All right. Accepting the WPBS quote for the commercial video work from Market New York grant in the amount of $10,000 and authorizing the town supervisor to execute documents related to same.
I'll make the motion.
Adrian, and second.
I'll second that.
Okay, Ray, all in favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay, authorizing the town supervisor to sign request for eligibility determination letter relating to the airport capital improvement plan. And I'm sure you've all gotten a copy of that. Motions, please.
I'll make the motion.
Adrian,
I'll second that.
Ray, all in favor?
Aye.
Authorizing the town supervisor to sign the sales quote from ABS, that is our software company, for Ubiquity Networks, okay? The cost would be $397.88.
I'll motion.
Okay, Christie, and a second, please.
I'll second it.
Adrian, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval to send Brenda Musa to attend the virtual Office of State Comptroller Government School for Accounting Principles and Procedures on October 8th to 9th at the cost of $85.
I'll make that motion.
Ray, and a second.
I'll second it.
Adrian, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Authorizing the town supervisor to execute facility encroachment agreement with CSX Transportation.
I'll make the motion.
Adrian, second, please.
I'll second it.
Ray, all in favor?
Aye.
And second part of that, authorize the town supervisor to execute facility encroachment agreement with CSX Transportation, and a different number attached to that.
I'll make the motion.
Adrian, and a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, Ray, all in favor?
Aye.
Authorizing Brittany Rushlo's attendance at the 2024 NYSAA Fall Conference, September 23rd to 26th in Fairport, New York.
I'll motion.
Okay, Christie, and a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, and we're very pleased that the nice, they reversed the, once you have an acting assessor, what basically happens is they have 6 months, the state goes back and tells us, well, according to this determination, not all the qualifications come back, et cetera. But we're very, very pleased, we wrote letters, and she's been really well for us, got completed other certificates, other attendances, scored very, very high, and the New York State came back and said, we want to have her continue on until she completes her certification. So that's great news for Massena. Okay, transfers and amendments, please. Those people who are doing the auditing today.
I'll make a motion that we accept the transfer amendments as they've been shown to us.
Okay, and second, please.
I'll second that.
And all in favor?
Aye.
And the warrants also.
I'll make the motion.
Ray, second.
I'll second it.
Adrian, okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Going over to Brenda Musa for our financial reports.
So in 2023, last year at this time, the revenue we had was $5,320,512. As of today, as of 2024, the revenue we have collected is $4,762,706. So our 2024 revenue is $557,806 less than last year of August 23. Our expenses last year were $4,484,317. Our expenses as of today are $4,619,162. So our 2024 expenses are $134,845 more than August of 23.
Okay, I guess we should be surprised at that. I hear going up. Okay. All right, let's do our committee reports, please. Town highway. Dylan?
For the highway department, we continue working with Power Authority on modernization project. We're actually trying to clean a ditch on Frico Road if it stops raining long enough for us to be able to do so. We mowed cemeteries 4 times. Soup coat reclaimed about a mile on the North Racket. We're getting that ready for paving hopefully soon. We completed mowing roadsides for the 2nd time this year. We weed whacked around all town guardrails. For equipment repairs, we did some maintenance to the roadside mower. For the airport, boutique air numbers for July are 505 in plane, 477 declane, for a total of 982. They had 173 landings, and they had 7 cancellations due to weather. Their flights have steadily been going up again. They had a little bit of a lull this spring, and the flights are right back up to where they should be. Taxiway Alpha, the East End lights are still out. They are continuing to mow all of the fields for the 2nd time. The library is looking at updating their security cameras. The museum is getting quotes on their back storage barn electrical, and the town hall has no new issues.
And I want to thank Dylan for providing me with the information of your mowing, because I've gotten a few phone calls from people saying, well, when are they going to be mowing? I haven't seen them mowing out here. So I'm glad you provided that to me, so that now when they call, I say, he's on this road, this date, etc.
Yes.
That helps me, because they do call.
I went back to 2019, and we've started within 4 or 5 days of each other every time. We do 3 trips around.
Yeah.
We actually do more mowing than what is required. Originally, our first pass, they only require us to do 12 feet off the roadside. We mow all of the right of way that we can get to.
Good. Okay. And again, that explanation to me helps me too, when I get phone calls, so I appreciate that. Okay, joint recreation.
Okay, so, last month they had their annual frog jumping contest, and said they were fortunate enough to have Well Now sponsor them, so as well as the prizes that they handed out, Well Now was able to provide them more, so they were able to give out gift cards. They had about 40 participants, and they said they even let the toad compete.
Oh my God.
So, their Love Massena trip, the event, they had vendors, bounce houses, cotton candy, it went very well, and it coincided with the breast cancer tournament, the softball tournament that weekend. So it was a very nice, busy weekend with lots of activities for people to do. They're going to be having the Lejean Memorial Tournament on August 31st. And they did their Calypso trip, which was on 8/12. They had about 20 people attend, and they had no issues at the border either way. So they were pleased with that. They've started their street hockey camp. They've got about 40 kids signed up. They, around Labor Day, are going to start a Frisbee golf league, and they're going to have equipment available to rent. I'm not sure what Frisbee golf is, but
Sounds like it'd be fun.
their youth soccer program is going well. They've got teams pre-K3 up to 7-8, age 7 or grade 7-8, and that's they are pretty much at capacity for kids in that program. They've got a football camp running out of the arena, and they discussed a little bit about their budget and how they were going to prepare the parking lot, and if they could fit that into their budget, because there's a lot of potholes, and so they kind of tabled that. They're looking to get an estimate for it, and they also apparently now have pickleball at the courts at Alcoa Park and at the arena, and there's one court at the park that they are concerned with because it wasn't resurfaced, and they're concerned it's going to be overgrown, so they're going to look at that. They're going to revisit that next month.
Okay. Well,
That's
that's
it.
good. Okay. Thank you. Town library, please.
Library met on 8/13, from 4/17 to 5/33. Their programs report is on upward trend. 183 kids were in the summer reading program. And that expanded to teens. They had 23 teens and 12 adults. The high school Enemy Club had 3 visits at the library with 17 teens. Circulation visits are up 1,000 over last year. They had 67 new library cards in July. Krista's radio interview had 700 views, 25 new followers. Arts and crafts are the most popular programs. Kay Romeo volunteered to join the personnel committee. The Friends bought a new toy box for the children's room, and they're having problems with a handicapped bathroom. Needs door opener. There's a gap that's a problem for the wheelchairs. Trinity School has donated books and crafts. The next meeting will be September 10th at 4:15.
Okay, and you tell Dylan about that?
I've already looked into it. We're waiting on a couple quotes.
Okay, good.
Just one more thing on the library, the visits are up year to date, 5,000 over last year. I thought that was a big number.
Okay, good. Okay, all right, thank you. And museum, please.
Museum met on 8/1, and that was from 4:30 to 5:10. They had 47 websites, they had 49 visitors, and they had 55 in June visitors. They're working on, they got some displays, new displays. They had some donations from Pete Sinola of an old electric vintage stove, some old bottles that came from Massena Center. They want to develop a display on Massena Center. And they need to purchase a small cabinet for genealogy. And we discussed the school district involvement with the museum. It used to be the 4th graders send their curriculum for local history.
Yeah, there used to be a number of visits
And
at
before,
the other location.
Before the pandemic, they were meeting down there, but since the pandemic has ceased, I talked to the board, and they're approaching Ron Burke on that. I haven't heard an answer back yet from the school district.
Yeah, okay, good.
Get our children back involved in the history of Massena.
Okay,
And that's
all right.
all I got.
Chamber of Commerce, Laura, I don't see you tonight, so I can at least tell you about the upcoming chamber events county-wise. Business after hours, the Aquasasmi Mohawk Casino, that's tonight. Lunch and Learn Adult Education and Workforce Development is on August 28th. Their nonprofit conference is September 11th. And the annual Craft Food and Wine Open Air Market is on September 21st at the St. Lawrence Power and Equipment Museum. And anybody interested, please check out their details online, and individuals and businesses can join anytime. And Laura's not here, so we will forego that. Okay. Code Officer, Pat.
So the only 2 things to report. One is a lot of the long-standing issues, kind of piggybacking off of the public hearing information. A lot of the long-standing issues deal with property cleanup, deal with unsafe structures. So we should be able to start making progress on some of those. One of the issues we have a lot of times, like Forbes Road, there's a house right there in that little triangular strip of land that's been abandoned for years and is in pretty horrible shape right now. So kind of tracing down property owners has been interesting, because all it really takes is your code office at 20 hours a week is perfect. That enables us to handle 98% probably a little bit better than that of what's happening, and do it in a timely manner. The complaints are what really slow us down sometimes, but not accepting the anonymous complaints is really helping with that. But so like Forbes Road, it's, I think, probably got about 3 hours in this week right now, just phone calls and emails and letters trying to figure out who actually owns it. It's
I
gone.
did get complaints about that, even in church somebody.
Yeah,
complained to me about
yep. So I've sent letters to National Federal Mortgage, which is the current lien holder. At least that's what the records show, but it also takes a while for proper records to update. So just because that's what it shows right now in the system or with the county doesn't necessarily mean that's who currently owns it. So the property owners around the house were thrilled to see somebody out there actually looking at the property and doing something about it. So we should be able to start making some progress on that. It is getting better. We have had some luck on some of the properties. Petawatt, not so much Petawatt, because they still are not very communicative or helpful. But their tenant on the site worked with us to remove shipping containers that were a code violation. That's been pretty good. The property out in the Cary Road, they've been cleaning that up a little bit at a time. We're making progress there. So we're doing pretty well. The only other thing is after a little bit of training tomorrow afternoon, the under construction banner should come down on the web portal that allows people to file their commercial and residential building permits online. So by Friday, we will have that totally up and running. So people will be able to go on, they'll be able to get the town planning packet. Town planning packet isn't quite ready yet. Commercial and residential building permits are. They'll be able to go on, fill that out completely online, which will be amazing, because right now what happens is they go to the town clerk, or they email or call me, I send them the permit, they fill it out, they return it, I review it, and sometimes it can take 2 trips to the town hall to get this done. So now it'll be a one and done. You fill it out online, comes to us, it gets approved. They'll get the invoice, town clerk receives a copy of the invoice. So when they come in, she's already got everything queued up, she knows what they owe, they pay for it, they submit the permit. So it should streamline the process quite a bit. And then the town planning packet will be similar when that's finally done. They'll be able to go online for anything that's gonna need to go to the planning board. They'll be able to fill out all that, and that'll likewise come. There are some things that require affidavits to be signed, so we've got a process in place for that, where they can submit the application. We'll review it conditionally, and then part of that is when they come in to pay and pick up, we would have them sign anything required. But going pretty well.
I appreciate all your work on this, very much so.
No problem.
Yeah.
I think I'm finally through the cleaning up the mess phase.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah, that's great.
it's a lot more manageable.
Town planning, zoning.
Okay, so the focus of both of those meetings in July was the subdivision of the Hannaford Plaza, and they want to do what's called 0 lot lines and divide it up so that it can be either rented or leased or sold as individual lots. They have interested parties who are looking to move in to these spots already. They did not say who. Let me see. So that was the whole zoning board meeting, and then in August, that one was voted. They had a public hearing on the subdivision of the plaza. They reviewed, they had an extensive review of the site plan, and they approved the subdivision for the Hannaford Plaza. And then, so that was zoning board. Planning board, they discussed the Roosevelt Solar Project, and there were some changes that had to be made to the site plan review. They needed to remove the battery storage compartment part of the project. So they'll submit the paperwork to us, and we will discuss it at the September meeting. They agreed to table it until then, and I think we didn't discuss that in the August meeting. So yeah, that's it for the July meetings.
Good, okay, thank you very much. And Massena Electric.
Massena Electric met today at, from 12 o'clock to 1:30, I believe. I came in late on the meeting. They started the meeting early. Their safety, they had no lost time since accidents since June of 22. The reliability, they had 12 calls in June. They're working on a Massena Electric video with Elijah and the board. They're working with the board. They sold 3 vehicles. Their work schedule, the crews have completed the 420 Hatfield project, and they're working with Air Products to install a temporary feed to the site. And the ash tree grant will cover the trees that are affecting the power lines, and not in the backyards or anything like that. So that's what Andy wanted to portray to the public. It's the big trees that are near the power lines. The next meeting will be September 19th at 1 o'clock.
All right, thank you. Jason, please.
So,
Oh.
we'll move on from MVP.
Yeah.
Ray brought sure that all of you knew that the grant was limited,
Sure.
right? It's for the things that are going to affect the distribution system.
Yeah. Okay. Jason? Okay.
So it was another exciting month. We went from the Big Bass Blowout into the Rocking the River prep, into Rocking the River, right into the Bass Pro Tour. So the last 3-4 weeks kind of seem like they have flown by quite fast. Anyhow, we had a great attendance at Rocking the River. It was extremely warm that day, very humid. Crowd kind of presented itself a little different this year. Instead of having a trickle effect in the early parts of the day and getting the big crowd at the end, we had more of a trickle, more of a family feel to it throughout the day. Talked to some of the vendors. One sold out completely out of everything. Others mentioned that they were busy all day long. So that part of it, stirring the commerce, went extremely well. I think the addition of the kids zone with the inflatables was a huge add for people. Again, trying to get that more family feel. Brett Westgrove, our main act, was very impressed with our area. Told me a number of times, him and his mother, who goes by Mama Mary, Brenda got to know very well during the show. Said they've never been treated so well. Anything they needed, we were on it. They said they went to the Blue Spruce. That's where we had set them up for the night. They said their stay was fantastic. It was a beautiful area. They loved it. So I relayed those over to Gina and Michael with the Blue Spruce. Then, like I said, we went right into the Bass Pro Tour. We had the fan experience over there the next weekend. That went well with Paw Patrol. I believe I furnished some survey results from the Rocking the River event, and everything was pretty well received. There's people disappointed we didn't do fireworks and all that stuff, but it's on the planning for next year. We'll digest that feedback and get that out.
Have you selected a date for next year?
I think we're gonna go back to the third weekend because everyone was upset with me moving it around.
I wasn't.
There's reasons behind it that made us go with the update this year. But I think right now we're targeting August 17th, so it's a third weekend in August, but that third Saturday. I think that's what we're gonna go back to. And any questions, feel free to reach out. We got a thank you letter coming out because it took a ton of people to pull that
Oh,
off.
yes, for sure.
The sponsors and whatnot.
Yeah, you did a great job, you're very pleased. And it's nice to hear comments from people. Again, when I go to church, I hear everything, so they're very pleased.
Thank you.
Okay, Don Meisner, Linda, you want to take care of that? Because
I will take care of that.
he's working with the
So-
anglers tonight, I
So that
guess.
everyone is aware, Dawn is at the intake this evening, the registration meeting for, count them, 320 anglers and co-anglers. That's what's going on right now at the intake. So we will have a large contingent of folks who will be coming to the intake at 3:30, 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. So if you want some excitement, come on down, because we'll be in the throes of parking and schlepping people to the boats on the water. It'll be fun. So first order of business is Don's report. And in his report, he's discussed the Bass Pro Tour. It was, I think the watch party and the award ceremony was well attended. We had lots of folks saying that they had a really good time. It was a full week of activity, so it really was very, very busy. The Toyota Series, as I mentioned, is starting tonight with the registration, and then we will have 2 full days of all of the anglers, and then we'll have the third day with a very small field of about 10 or 20 for the award ceremony. And then
What day will that be on?
that will be the 24th. So it starts tomorrow, the 22nd, goes through the 24th, where we have the small group of anglers. And then the 25th is the Abu Garcia tournament, college tournament. And this will be for 30 different teams throughout the United States, college teams. So this is another opportunity for folks to come and see what the college groups are doing, if folks are interested.
Same location?
Same location, yes, sir, same location. The Cash and Rods tournament will close the season, and that'll be the weekend of September 6th, and it's just a one-day event. And then Don has received something, a media message from Major League Fishing. As folks may remember, he is in constant contact with Michael Malone, who is their Senior Vice President for Sales and Marketing. I think that's his new title. And Michael has sent to him a number of rack cards, and I included those with, I think they were attached to my report, or maybe they were attached to Don's, but in any event, they are demonstrating some of the actual numbers that we could see as part of the continued effort of Massena with Major League Fishing, and the types of work that continue to bolster our sales tax revenue. So that's really very important. So we have some of those cards attached to the monthly report. And so as a closeout for Don's report, Ashton, is that up, the video? Can you play that? Okay, and so that everyone knows what this is, Don talked to the folks with Major League Fishing. They asked for some information that they could put into a video, sort of a synopsis, if you will, that would be part of what will air as the six weekends of airing of everything that happened on the water during the Bass Pro Tour. So there will be 6 opportunities for 6 different stations.
Yeah, different networks.
I'm sorry, Adrian?
6 different networks, Don said, right?
That's correct, 6 different networks, from Discovery to
Right.
the Outdoor Channel. Yeah, so a lot of coverage and 6 different times. So, can you play that? Thank you.
Before it starts, Linda, this commercial was part of the agreement, right, that we had signed with them?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah. So
Yes.
this is part of the agreement that we signed, that they would promote Massena, right?
Correct.
Sorry about the sound.
Massena, New York is a town in St. Lawrence County known for its rich history and natural beauty. Located along the St. Lawrence River, it offers outdoor activities, historical sites, and a strong community spirit. The town is also home to the St. Lawrence FDR Power Project and the Eisenhower Lock. The Eisenhower Lock is one of the 7 canal locks on the St. Lawrence River, part of the St. Lawrence Seaway. Located near Massena, it provides a 38-foot lift for ships heading upstream. The Eisenhower Lock Visitor Center offers educational exhibits, interactive navigation simulations, and observation decks to watch ships transit the lock. It's a great spot to learn about the St. Lawrence Seaway. Right down the road is the Hawkins Point Dam, part of the St. Lawrence FDR Power Project, providing clean power to thousands of northern New York residents. The Hawkins Point Visitor Center offers interactive exhibits on energy production, green technologies, and the St. Lawrence River. The Nicandry Nature Center, located in the Robert Losas State Park, offers interactive exhibits on local habitats, live fish and turtle displays, and 5 miles of scenic trails. Along the banks of the Racket River in Massena, you'll find Springs Park, historically an attraction for people visiting its natural sulfur springs. It is now a community hub featuring green spaces, picnic areas, and playgrounds. Across town is one of Massena's many local businesses, the Gristmill Brewery, located on the least, the forests and waters surrounding Massena offer an unlimited variety of outdoor activities for anyone looking to surround themselves with all the endless beauty and adventure that upstate New York has to offer. Beautiful sunsets, bountiful big bass, activities, and history. You'll find it all in Massena. We welcome you back into Championship Day. Major League Fishing's Bass Pro Tour at the Minn Kota State 7, St. Lawrence River, presented by Humminbird. With JT Kenny, I'm Chad McKee, along for the ride, the final hour and 20 minutes plus to determine our final winner.
That's great. That's really good.
So that will air as part of the 6 weekends of coverage. So Massena will get a lot of exposure because of this video as well as what happened on the same
Is it a certain television network or what?
Discovery Channel, Discovery Channel, CBS Sports, the Outdoor Channel, and there are 3 more. And Sue, I can get those for the board.
That'd be good for us to know, sure, yes.
Yeah, it'll be exciting for Massena to actually see themselves as
And is that,
part of
is that
this.
also with Jason? Or-
Yes.
Yeah, we have.
Good.
Do you
Yeah,
have?
we work with their, so I saw Eric, is like, is that us or whatever? Is that what you were looking at, Mikey?
But I saw the group of cyclists, I just wondered.
Yeah, that was, so we shared some of our equipment with them that was used in that as well,
Okay,
so.
good, good, that's great.
So yes, it is.
Yeah.
Were you in that group?
I was.
Oh,
And they featured the P&G building, I was very thrilled.
Was it one? Wow, I didn't know that. It's cropping up all over. That's good to know. Okay, so thank you very much, Ashton, for showing that. And
Austin.
I can send that
Did you
link.
say Austin?
Austin?
Yeah, Austin.
I apologize. Thank you. Okay, so I have just a few more things. I'll go over my report very quickly. We did submit for the consolidated funding application for tournaments and related activities. The airport promotion is moving forward. We've got the contract in place now. The economic impact study, the cards that were provided and I referenced previously, those will help to round out the data that I'm collecting as part of the study. And also, we will be doing another survey with the anglers tomorrow. I have 2 volunteers who will help me, and we'll be administering a survey to 320 anglers if they're willing to participate. But typically, if they're standing in line and they're waiting to weigh fish, they don't have a lot of places to go, so you can sort of capture them. And then the Market New York Grant 2, this is almost completed, and we just have to do the videos. And that was part of one of tonight's resolutions, so we'll have those also underway, so we'll be able to close that out. And so before I relinquish the floor, I would just like to say a couple of other things. First of all, I'd like to publicly thank Brenda for all that she does to help me with data collection and research. Brenda, thank you very much. I'd like to thank Dylan, because Dylan really made a difference getting the folks with boutique air to the table so we start moving on some of these things. So thank you, Dylan. Oh, and I should mention that Dylan is an excellent volunteer when it comes to parking vehicles. He really knows how to get the job done, so thank you for that. And I would also like to give a shout out to the town of Louisville, because as folks may or may not know, there was a cleanup that was part of what the Bass Pro Tour did. But the Massena intake is so clean that they couldn't do a cleanup. So they took pictures and they did a great press release where they talked about the cleanliness of the Massena intake and how New York really takes care of its parks. So a shout out to Lindsay Vlading and his staff. So that's everything that I have.
And you also talked to Lindsay perhaps, on your own?
I'm sorry,
Did you also talk to Lindsay about that?
I did, I sent him what they had sent.
Good.
We wanted him to know how grateful we were.
I'd just like to add one thing, because I've said it, this is probably the third or fourth time I said it. There's gonna be 320 anglers out there that are gonna be spending money somewhere. I really would like the businesses in Massena, if they want these guys that come to business, to approach Don or I or Jason to help them be successful in what they're doing here. One of the businesses, Fahrenheit, gave us 300 free drink chips to give out to the anglers, not just one simple little thing to drive business in your direction, is to get involved in what we're doing. We're doing everything we can to bring people in now. We need help promoting your business, and it's free. We're not charging anything. So if you want to get involved, call Jason or Don or I, and let us know that you want to be involved, and we'll see what we can do for you.
And next Wednesday morning is our slot in the radio. So if you're available and Jason's available, there's your topic right there. Go for it. Okay?
I might have said that on the radio too before.
Well, you may have to repeat some too, so, yeah. Okay, and one other note, I attended another Association of Towns meeting yesterday with supervisors over all over New York State, mainly talking about our upcoming budgets and the expenses that are going up, and again, advising us to do the 2% tax cap at least, to put a resolution out there to do that. They also brought up another topic which is interesting. They're gonna put through, I was asked to be on their resolution committee last year and hopefully again this coming year. They have their own plan. Again, this is a resolution, it's gotta go before New York State next year. But they're gonna try to put forth a resolution so that small towns like us can change our own speed limits in certain areas where there's problems, rather than go through the Department of Transportation. So that's their books from the council that the meeting yesterday. But so they're gonna try to go for that. So we'll see what happens. But at least talking about small towns and being able in our own sites to change the speed limit in the area where there could be problems, I think that'd be worthwhile. So we'll see where that goes. But just to let you know. No other old business, any new business from someone? Any public comments on anything? If none, could we have a motion to go into executive session, please?
I'll make a motion to go into executive
I
session.
gotta read the reasons why,
Oh,
as
okay.
always. I have to do that, okay? Discussions relating to proposed pending or current litigation, medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or relating to appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or removal, an acquisition, lease, or sale of real property or securities for publicity to substantially affect the value. And now we can have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Adrian, and a second, please.
I'll second that.
Ray, thank you. Thank you all very much for coming. Take a look at your calendar.